News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
We have breaking news at this hour at 4. The 16-year-old injured in a shooting we reported yesterday has died.
Police say the shooting involved two teenagers, 19 and 16. The 19-year-old died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. This happened at about 9:30 yesterday morning on North Lawn Avenue on Madison's north side. Police say both people knew each other, and this investigation is now a homicide-suicide situation. On our weather now, and what may have felt like a dud to the southeast, it turned out to be up to a foot of snow in the northwest.
Pretty unbelievable. Yesterday, our First Warn weather team told us about that razor-thin margin. I don't know, Blaze, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I mean, you can see here the estimated snow depth. Once you get into the panhandle of about Vernon County eastward, it really tapers off. But even across parts of just Vernon County and Crawford County alone, you can see those darkening blues. So even on the county level, some folks got more snow or less snow than their neighbors. But anybody here in the red, the reason why we didn't get a whole lot of snow was because dry air stuck over us for about 6 hours. And that really limited not only our rain overnight before it turned over to snow, but then the snow through the morning hours. For southeastern Wisconsin, that was over us from about 1 this morning through 7, 8 o'clock. So 6 to 7 hours of just dry air. So that's why we didn't get a lot of snow here across southeastern parts of Wisconsin. Maybe that's some good news for folks, considering we were in the 60s earlier this week. Now we're at 32 in Madison, and it feels like a comfortable 22 thanks to those breezy west-northwesterly winds. Now the last of the accumulating snow is pushing off into Sheboygan, Manitowoc, up into Door County. We are left with quiet but breezy conditions. So what can we expect through the rest of your weekend? Well, the low 30s on Saturday, mid-20s on Sunday. On and off flurries possible, variable cloudiness both days. Any more snow, rain, or warmer temperatures in the forecast? We'll take a look in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Yesterday in the Assembly, a bill was approved to help universities across Wisconsin become a more desirable destination for current and future student athletes.
Yeah, the goal is to keep the programs running while dealing with the ever-evolving name, image, and likeness landscape. Nash Dara shares where that money will come from and where it will go. Nash.
Hey, Sarah and Brady. The main emphasis of this bill is to add more rules and regulations to NIL, a bill that would direct more funds to university buildings and athletics. Earlier this afternoon, I had the chance to sit down and talk with Alex Dahlman, a representative who helped introduce the bill. He said the state pays for 60% of campus facilities, while 40% come from the athletic departments themselves. This bill would allow for a higher percentage of that money to come from the taxpayer. So this money isn't directly going to universities' athletes?
Correct. The money that we are putting into the athletic programs is going to facilities only.
Okay.
Facilities that have already been built, facilities that the general taxpayer is already paying a portion of. We're just asking the taxpayer to pay just a little bit more. It should be very good for our universities to have structure and guidance, great for our student athletes to have privacy and protection, and we're looking forward to having this become law.
In Assembly, the bill had one unapproved vote with 95 others saying yes. It still needs to pass the Senate and be signed by the governor before it become enforced. Representative Dan Knodel was the lone no vote. He said in a statement, "While I'm a major supporter of college athletics, I cannot in good conscience ask our taxpayers to send additional dollars into what has effectively become a semi-pro sports landscape." Sarah and Brady, I will have more on this story tonight at 5.
Nash, thank you. Well, along with that bill, there has been a flurry of bills that have passed the Assembly. Let's break down a few of the biggest ones and where they are now. One of them would expand postpartum Medicaid coverage for a year rather than just 2 months. That heads to the governor's desk to become law. They also voted to add a constitutional amendment on partial vetoes to the November ballot. Now, that question would be whether governors can use partial veto authority to increase taxes or fees.
The Assembly overwhelmingly passed Gale's Law, with all voting yes except 3 who did not vote. Gale's Law would require insurance companies to cover follow-up breast cancer screenings for women with dense breast tissue and other high-risk factors. That also now heads to the governor's desk. Then a bill focused on online sports betting also passed the Assembly. This would legalize online sports betting in the state. However, the infrastructure to manage those bets will need to be housed on tribal lands. This also heads to the Senate.
Now to an update from Madison Police. We told you yesterday about a woman who was missing from a Madison group home. Police say Catherine McIntosh has been found and returned home.
A Dane County board supervisor wants to have fewer colleagues. Supervisor Jeff Wiegand says the board should go from 37 members to 27. Dane County's board is the second largest in the state. In comparison, Dane County's is larger than Milwaukee, Waukesha, La Crosse, and Brown counties. Wiegand says slimming down the board will generate $130,000 in annual savings for taxpayers. This week on For the Record, our political reporter Ellie LaLiberte talks more with Wiegand about why he thinks the board needs to be smaller.
After serving for 4.5 years, I can say with confidence that that's too many members. Sadly, there's a lot of supervisors that simply show up to meetings and they vote with the majority. They're not curious, they don't ask questions of staff, they don't author original ideas or proposals, they simply show up and collect a paycheck.
To hear about next steps for this proposal and potential barriers, you can watch Ellie's interview this Sunday morning at 10:30 on For the Record.
As Christians enter the Lenten season, abstaining from meat and gathering for Friday fish fries, that's a big tradition.
It is, but rising seafood costs and demand are causing local fish fry prices to spike. Our Maren Rosen is live outside of one of these local fish fries, and right now, Maren, what do you know?
Sarah and Brady, as seafood prices are rising nationwide, Christians celebrating Lent are getting the short end of the stick. And at Dexter's Pub, the kitchen is struggling to maintain keeping costs reasonable for their customers and covering their own costs.
My cod has gone up 40%, and it's not even the same exact fish that we used to be able to use. And so we're getting to the point where, like, how much can I justify increasing prices when I have to in order to keep it on the menu every week?
But despite the price increase, Dexter's is still expecting their usual Friday fish fry crowd. I'll be back tonight at 10 with more. Reporting in Madison, I'm Maren Rosen, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maren. Well, heads up, Brewers fans. The Brewers announced they have reached a multi-year contract extension with manager Pat Murphy. Murphy is entering his third season at the helm after leading the team to a franchise record 97 wins last year, the best record in Major League Baseball. The Brewers also defeated the rival Chicago Cubs in the National League Division Series, marking the club's first postseason series victory since 2018.
I caught you said Cubs. I'm a fan, sorry. All right, next on Live at 5, several visas have not been renewed this year in Wisconsin. We'll take a look at how this impacts businesses here.
And then we have dramatic new video of a car that crashed through a Walgreens near Wausau, how Good Samaritans and first responders reacted.
And while Wisconsin got several inches of snow, tornadoes were reported in other parts of the Midwest. We'll have more on the impact of those storms.
And it seems like the rain and snow have moved on for most of our area today. Blaze has the first warn forecast and whether we are going to see any more anytime soon and how our weekend is shaping up.
3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. It is the talk of the town in Fitchburg, the new water tower. It's not up yet, but it's still on display.
News 3 Now's Chris Stanford is taking us there to check it out.
Huge pieces of steel recently popped up in this Fitchburg field.
A lot of people are like, what is that? They don't know what it is. And Facebook, a lot on Facebook, just through social media, we've had a lot of questions about the progress and what it is.
We're at the corner of Lacey Road and Highway 14, where the city's new water tower is about to be put together and painted.
The $4.5 million project has been in the works for years, and now we're starting to see it come together.
And it will provide consistent pressures for them, more consistent flows, better fire protection, and then it will help meet peak demand, so in the summertime when people use a lot of water.
Soon it will tower 153 feet above the city and hold 600,000 gallons of water.
It's not too often that you see the water tower go up in a community, and for this to be my second, I'm very fortunate. I'm very excited, and excited for the community.
The new water tower will get its first coat of paint this summer, get filled up this fall, and be put into service next year. In Fitchburg, Chris Stanford, News 3 Now.
Thanks so much, Chris. This week we'll see more progress on that water tower. A crane will be on site to piece it all together.
Let's check in with Blaze in the first warn forecast. So how much snow and rain did we get, Blaze? Any more on the way?
It depends on who you ask, because in Madison, I haven't seen any reports. If you head up the road closer to La Crosse, they got about a foot of snow. So it really just depends on who you ask. We were kind of expecting not only that sharp cutoff, but for not everybody to get that significant snowfall, which is unfortunate, and I'll touch on why in just a moment. But in terms of accumulating snow from here through at least Monday, we're not looking at a lot. We're looking at a high pressure system to move on in, and that is going to keep us windy and cooler, but it will keep us quiet. Not expecting any of that accumulating snow, as I mentioned, because that low pressure system is slowly making its way out of the Great Lakes into New England. Emphasis on the slowly, and as it does, our incoming high pressure system and that exiting low that just brought some of us that near foot of snow, they're going to fight, essentially. Who's going to dominate our weather? The high pressure system is going to win, but as they are fighting, we're going to get some breezy conditions. So after variable cloudy conditions on Saturday, maybe a few flurries, the winds pick up in speed on Sunday. We cool off even more into the mid-20s, maybe squeeze out a few flurries as well. As that high pressure system continues to make its way eastward, eventually those winds will die down. Looking at Monday for that, temperatures become a little bit more seasonal, but still below average from Sunday or Saturday through at least Monday of next week. Starting Tuesday through Thursday, maybe as late as Friday, a couple systems move through the Midwest on the backside of that high pressure system. Temperatures warm back up into the mid to upper 30s, so warmer than where we will be, cooler than where we have been, right around where we should be. So Goldilocks and the Three Bears, we have found the porridge that's just about right. Give or take, we're pretty much where we should be for this time of year. Maybe a few degrees below average, a few degrees above average, but compared to where we have been not only this week, but this winter, we're not seeing those big swings of 20 to 30 degrees, both above and below average for what will be the last full week of February, taking us into the start of March there by that following Monday. In terms of big systems that we're going to be eyeing, we don't really see any big ones like what we just saw, but we will see a chance for a wintry mix at the very least with those warming temperatures starting later Monday night into Tuesday, and that second system then moves in Wednesday into Thursday. Right now, this is looking more or less like rain, snow, and not heavy snow accumulation, or at the very least, not widespread heavy snow accumulation, which, and I'm going to say this very cautiously because I know some people are over winter. We need the snow desperately across southeastern Wisconsin. We don't even have an inch yet for this entire month, and we usually pick up nearly 13 inches of snow. These 2 days, the 1st and the 6th, those are the only days that we've gotten snow in the Madison area this month. If we don't get any more snow, this will be the third least snowiest February in about 150 years, tying 1902. Snowpacks are very important for the following spring. They lock in a lot of very valuable moisture, and we have completely gotten rid of our snowpack across southeastern Wisconsin. There was a look at our 7 and 10 day forecast. Rain snow mix Tuesday, Wednesday, wrapping up Thursday, and then we'll be quiet, hopefully, as we go out of February into March by that following Monday.
We are cruising right along. Thanks, Blaze.
Thanks, Blaze.
The First Warn weather team has been working on an informative and exciting weather special. It's time to get severe weather ready. This special features how watches and warnings are issued, the latest research on southern Wisconsin's severe weather season, and what goes into issuing alert days. It airs next Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m.
Coming up on Live at 4, with the possibility of strikes on Iran, consumer reporter Michelle Renee tells us how that could impact us here in Wisconsin.
And then a series of tornadoes tore across the Midwest in the last 24 hours, the damage they caused.
And we have new surveillance video from a Walgreens store in northern Wisconsin showing the moment a car went through the front entrance.
And President Trump is reacting to the Supreme Court's decision to strike down a portion of the president's global tariffs, how he could still keep them in place, and what that might do to prices.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome back. We're looking at the numbers on Wall Street today. Green across the board. The Dow is up 230 points, the Nasdaq up 203, and the S&P 500 picked up 47 points.
We're getting a first look at some surveillance video from inside Walgreens, which shows a car hitting a pedestrian. Weston is just south of Wausau. Now take a look at this. The video shows 3 people leaving the store on February 9th as a car drives through the glass entrance. Well, that hit a woman not long after police and paramedics responded, having to move the glass doors out of the way to get inside.
Witness said she was kind of turning into that handicap stall, must have accelerated instead of braked.
A woman and child jumped out of the way. Another woman was hit and her leg was pinned under the tire. A customer grabbed a jack to help free her. She suffered a broken leg. The driver said her foot slipped off the brake while parking. That driver is not being charged.
President Trump announced alternative plans today to keep his sweeping tariff policy in place after the Supreme Court handed his administration a major defeat.
Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing.
President Trump sharply criticized the Supreme Court justices who struck down his sweeping tariff policy, including 2 justices he nominated during his first term.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed.
In a 6-3 decision, the High Court ruled the president does not have the authority to impose tariffs under a 1977 emergency powers law he used to levy taxes on nearly all U.S. global trading partners.
This is all about the idea that the Constitution gives Congress the power to regulate commerce, that the Constitution gives Congress the power to impose taxes.
This Chicago area educational toy company, Learning Resources, was part of the lawsuit challenging the tariffs, arguing the taxes would devastate their business.
We're feeling vindicated. We felt that the tax was an unlawful tax, and we're excited to see the Supreme Court take a very strong stance in favor of the equal application of law to all of us.
Despite the Supreme Court's ruling, President Trump says he will continue his policy by collecting new global tariffs under a different statute.
Today I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122, over and above our normal tariffs already being charged.
A CBS News poll in December found most Americans, 63%, oppose tariffs on imported goods. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Wisconsin's congressional senators are also reacting to the decision. Republican Senator Ron Johnson says this case cried out for a unanimous decision, adding, in part, both sides made reasonable arguments leading to a split decision. In the end, SCOTUS decided nothing and created a huge mess. He goes on to say, but the underlying mess is created by sloppy congressional language in bills that are not adequately thought through.
And Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin released a statement and also said in part, quote, "Today we saw the Supreme Court rein in this lawless president and slap down his out-of-control tariffs." She goes on to say, but the increased costs and uncertainty that Wisconsinites are still navigating is irreversible and will have long-lasting impacts, end quote. Well, a winter tornado outbreak in the Midwest led to extensive damage close to home. At least one violent twister hit southeastern Illinois yesterday, shredding homes, overturning cars, and leaving a trail of destruction that stretched at least 6 miles. Another powerful tornado ripped through Bloomington, Indiana, a city that's home to about 80,000 people. That one badly damaged a bank and a normally busy shopping district with significant debris scattered across the parking lot and a local restaurant drive-through.
They also got a lot of our debris. Like anything you see red over there is from us. I mean, it was pretty scary, especially with the blowing and it tossing the car back and forth.
The same winter storm system dumped nearly a foot of snow in parts of Nebraska, and we also saw wide, heavy snow here as well, anywhere from 4 inches to nearly a foot, stretching from Boscobel to Mauston, west to La Crosse, and south of Prairie du Chien.
From Super Mario Brothers to K-pop demon hunters to Bluey, a big toy trend is the tie-in to TV shows and movies.
Bradley Blackburn shows us the fun at the annual Toy Fair, that's a fun assignment, in New York, and shows us some of the goodies kids will be asking for all year long.
Whether it's swings, sings, or flies, they have it all at the Toy Fair. There we go. And the Toy Insider's Lori Schacht knows how to spot the good eggs.
Something amazing is going to happen. Look.
Yoshi from the new Super Mario movie hatches from its shell, revealing an interactive, adorable dino.
So we can tap his nose. Go ahead, tap his nose.
Hi, Yoshi. K-pop Demon Hunters has exploded too.
Golden everywhere.
From bracelet makers to Bitsies and beyond.
These kinds of movie tie-ins, they still sell a lot of toys.
They sell a ton of toys. Kids are going to want all this because of what it is.
It's 7 football fields of toys. Greg Ahern helps lead the show and says new toys take years to develop.
2 years usually in planning for toys from idea to the moment it gets picked up at the store.
Toys help kids create too. These solar-powered flowers teach robotics.
I love when I see kits like this that are really bringing the girls in.
And inflatable air builders arrive this spring.
Now they can build anything.
They click together, blow up, and then store easily.
And when kids are done with it, it goes back in the box.
Right. Easy to deflate.
For younger kids, the new For Real Sloth smiles when you care for him. And Bluey is welcoming you to her biggest playhouse ever.
This is a low-tech toy.
Yes, the toy companies are getting back to basics with our kids. It's good for our kids. It's the way kids are supposed to play.
New ways to have old-fashioned fun as the toy industry winds up for 2026. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
All right, and many of these toys unveiled at the Toy Fair will hit shelves later this year. The Toy Association says last year toy sales grew 6% despite some challenges with tariffs.
Did you have a go-to toy when you were growing up?
I did my Cabbage Patch
Of
doll,
course.
my Rhonda. I still have Rhonda. She's in a bin in my basement, but...
Dig her out. Bring her in.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
I will. She'll be on my desk next week. He has said it.
Hi, Rhonda.
How about you?
I had a lot of Batman action figures. I still have them. And kind of the same thing with the Cabbage Patch doll. Tickle Me Elmo was like super big.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Now you need to bring Elmo.
I'll find it. It created chaos at the stores.
Yeah, right.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, after several months of waiting, farmers can now start applying for bridge payments. Who's eligible and how to apply?
Then Wisconsin farms and businesses could look very different this year after a significant number of visa holders who aren't applying.
And Thin Mints, Tagalongs, Caramel Delights, so many other cookies are coming to a neighborhood near you. Josh is in the 608 telling us about the start of Girl Scout cookie season.
They start tomorrow, by the way. Plus, temperatures bounce between the high 20s and mid 40s in our 10-day forecast. Blaze tells us all of the details when we return.
Now, Live at 4.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. We have breaking news at 4. The 16-year-old injured in a shooting yesterday has died.
And yesterday, police say the shooting involved 2 teens, 19 and 16. The 19-year-old died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. This happened at about 9:30 yesterday morning on North Lawn Avenue on Madison's north side. Police say that both people knew each other, and this investigation is now a homicide-suicide situation.
Turning to the weather right now, let's check in with Blaze in the first warn forecast. Everybody has a different story, huh?
Yeah, I mean, even across parts of Vernon County and Crawford County, the snow really tapered off from west to east. But some folks picking up almost, if not just slightly over a foot of snow, certainly over half a foot of snow. Lafarge, Eastman, Viroqua, Toma coming in at just shy of that foot. And then you get further south and east, and it really tapers off to where some parts of southeastern Wisconsin, you wouldn't even know it snowed because we didn't really see a whole lot because of dry air that stuck over us for about 6 to 7 hours this morning, and that really dried up the atmosphere and made it hard for that snow to cross the Wisconsin River. But you can see even those light to dark blues making their way from east to west across parts of Vernon and Crawford counties. So we were expecting those sharp cutoffs, and across some of our counties we certainly got that. But now we are quiet. We're taking a live look there at our Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. 32 degrees. It feels like 22 again. If you are thinking about venturing out on the ice, please be very, very careful. We've been in the 50s and 60s. We have done quite a lot of melting and thinning of that ice, and we would really, really like it if you stayed safe as we make our way into the weekend. Where is that accumulating snow? Well, we have to zoom out. It is making its way across parts of Michigan right now. We're on the backside of that strong low pressure system. What moves on in now? High pressure. That's going to keep us quiet as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about upcoming temperatures. Are we going to stay warmer than, cooler than average? Any 60s in the forecast? And any rain or snow or thunderstorms, since we kind of dealt with those this week too. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. In the news now, Wisconsin's agriculture businesses could take a hit this growing season if fewer migrant workers apply for visas.
Our Maya Tate talked with an expert about what this all could mean. Maya.
Yeah, Brady and Sarah, last year more than 6,000 migrant workers traveled to Wisconsin to work in the agriculture business. That's according to data from the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. With crackdowns on immigration in the United States, fewer people may want to come to the state, which would put a strain on the already increasing labor shortage. UW professor of agriculture and applied economics, Paul Mitchell, said this isn't anything new.
We've been having labor shortages in the state for a long time, and this just makes it a little worse.
Mitchell says seasonal migrant workers are very important to agribusiness in the state. Processing plants as well as farms rely on these workers to deal with temporary demands. Coming up tonight at 6, I'll have more on why Wisconsinites could see grocery store and farmers market prices raise because of the lack of workers.
Maya, thank you so much.
Well, a new financial relief program is on the way for farmers from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The Farmer Bridge Assistance Program will provide $11 billion in one-time payments to row crop producers affected by trade disruptions and rising production costs. The sign-up period starts next Monday and goes through April 17th. Producers who filed their 2025 acreage reports can access pre-filled applications online using a login, government account, or apply through their local farm service agency office. Farmers who apply online could receive payments as early as February 28th. The Warner Dog Park is still closed after a dog died suddenly following a trip to the park last weekend. In an update, Madison Park says rangers and Public Health Madison-Dane County staff surveyed the park and found nothing of visible concern. The dog that died is pending an autopsy from the Wisconsin Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory. The cause of the dog's death is still unknown, though, but park staff says tests have found no known risks to human or animal health at the park.
With climbing oil prices amid possible military action in Iran, this raises questions about potential economic fallout. Our consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn takes a look at how this could impact you.
Economists say open hostilities between the countries could constrict global oil flows and raise U.S. energy prices. On Thursday, President Trump said Iran has about 10 days to make a deal ending its nuclear program, or, quote, bad things will happen. The most immediate economic impact would be felt in the oil market. Capital Economics reports oil prices could rise towards $100 per barrel if Iran's oil infrastructure is hit. The country also has control of the channel used by ships carrying about 20% of the world's daily oil supply. So for consumers, the most immediate impact could be higher prices at the pump.
Thank you, Michelle Renee. A 100% student-run food pantry at UW-Madison is petitioning for more support from the university.
It's called Open Seat, and it's seen rising demands in the last 3 years of its 10-year-long operation. Tidriana Antry, our Badger Beat reporter, has more.
With 2 locations and only 8 student employees, the pantry serves over 2,000 students and distributes several tons of food per month. Students on staff are calling for a full-time employee to support them after the pantry has seen a 72% increase in appointments from 2024 to 2025.
We get up to 32,000 pounds of food per month, and that's kind of just like a lot to manage as 8 students. We need a full-time staff member just because, again, we're students. Like, we're putting this before our academics and before our own mental and physical well-being. We want to make sure our shoppers know, especially, is that even though we're like publicly saying that we need additional support from the institution, we're not saying that they can't come to us.
The online petition is directed at university leadership, including Chancellor Mnuchin. Dean of Student Affairs Christina Olstad said she is working with the Open Seat to meet their rising need. Olstad said that she will meet with students at the Open Seat next week to discuss possible solutions.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Ty. This is a great story. Canopy Dance, a modern contemporary company based at Madison's Overture Center, is teaming up with the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra for a powerful new production. The performance premieres Regeneration, a symphony that celebrates the power of nature and the Earth's ability to renew itself. The show takes stage next Friday at 7:30 at the Capitol Theater.
Extreme beauty in this piece. Should make people really swell with energy. Their hearts should feel good. It's not like a dark piece. It's a transformative piece. And it's technically very difficult, very exciting. The costumes are amazing and beautiful.
The collaboration has been years in the making, building Regeneration in stages before bringing the full symphony to life on stage. Tickets and more information available through the Overture Center and canopydance.org.
All right, everyone, listen up. This is not a drill. After a year of waiting, it is finally here.
Of course, we're talking about, I'm going, oh, what's he saying? It's the Girl Scout cookies are on sale. They go on sale tomorrow, but in the meantime, Josh is in the 608 with a sweet story.
And you may think that you're a big Packers fan, but we'll introduce you to Pat, who is such a big fan. You know what? He's getting his own spot in the team's Hall of Fame.
Awesome. Then we might not be fans of the February weather after getting 60 degrees, but Blaze will give us the reality check when we come back.
4.
Let's take a live look at Hampton, Georgia, at the Echo Park Speedway, where you can see drivers qualifying for the Auto Trader 400 NASCAR event. The weather there is 78 degrees and sunny. We'll get there someday. There is a chance of rain tomorrow morning, though. Here's your fun fact for the day. In 2024, Daniel Suarez won his race by just 0.003 seconds. Whoa, that's about the length of a sheet of paper.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I could watch that. Moving on. In the 608, the Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Badgerland are gearing up to kick off cookie sales this weekend.
It's that time of year again. They joined our Josh Sprider for a tasty preview on News 3 Now this morning.
Joining me now are Gabby and Caitlin of the Badgerland Girl Scouts. Guys, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Boy, this is a big weekend. Gabby, you guys are super excited.
Yes, we are so excited. I mean, we prepare all year long for this. This is our main fundraiser for our council, and we couldn't be more thrilled that it's finally here.
There's such a big build-up, so cookies officially go on sale starting tomorrow.
Yes, bright and early tomorrow morning.
Gosh,
everything's
Caitlin,
live.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so you were in 7th grade. How long have you been a Girl Scout?
I've been a Girl Scout for 8 years.
Oh my gosh, what got you into being a Girl Scout?
Well, so when I was like a 4K kindergarten, they sent this packet home, and I gave it to my mom, and she looked through it, and she was like, oh, this is Girl Scout stuff. She asked me if I wanted to do it, and like the little kid that I am, I said no. So she tried a few more times, and then I eventually said yes, I would try it for this year, and if I didn't like it, then I wouldn't continue. But that first year, I just absolutely loved it, so I kept on doing it till now.
And you still love it because you're still doing it, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So Gabby, I know you've got a few of the cookies out here this morning. This is one of the newer ones. Let's talk about that.
Yes, so we have all of your favorites this year, of course, plus our brand new cookie. It's called the Explore More.
Love that.
It is a Rocky Road ice cream inspired sandwich cookie. So it's a little marshmallowy. It's got kind of an almondy flavor. Of course, it's chocolatey. And it's really quickly becoming a favorite of a lot of people who've gotten to try it so far.
Sign me up, sign me up. Caitlin, do you have a favorite cookie?
I really love the Caramel Delights.
That is one of my favorites. So you put it in the fridge, you get it nice and chilled. That's perfect. So why is it important for folks to continue supporting you and what you do, Caitlin?
Because the cookie sale is, like Gabby said, a fundraiser, and it's our main one. It helps maintain all of our camp properties, and it helps troops go on field trips, and it helps pay for all the badges, and it even pays for the vests.
And that's really what it's all about, is like there are so many things. Obviously, cookie sales are a big part of the thing in the community, but you guys are doing this 365 days out of the year.
Yes, absolutely. All of our cookie proceeds stay local, so this is really funding everything that we do as a council. It's funding every property we have, like she said. It's we've got proceeds that go to the troops. Of course, some of it's going towards the rewards that our Girl Scouts earn for selling cookies, scholarships, and
and even more.
Oh my gosh, there's so much to look forward to. All right, you excited? You ready?
Yes.
Ready to sell some cookies?
Yes.
Do you have any goals this year?
I'm trying to sell 2,000.
2,000. I think you're going to do it. I think we might have some people back here that might be interested too. Guys, thanks so much. We'll have more details up on channel3000.com. Good luck selling those cookies.
Thank you.
And I agree with Josh. Putting them in the freezer is the best way to enjoy them. You can watch Josh every weekday morning and noon right here on News 3 Now.
Well, snow fell in parts of the area, but we all felt the wind today. Blaze, will it stay windy into the weekend?
Not as windy as where we were today, at least on Saturday, but those winds will pick up in speed as we go into Sunday. We are beginning to ease out of winter and head into summer. Spring and fall are what I call transition seasons, and as the jet stream either is moving north for the summer or south for the winter, we get those air masses that are not similar. So they're fighting. One wants to be here, the other one doesn't, and when we move those in and out over us, we deal with the breezy conditions. So that's why we're breezy today, because we went from the 50s and 60s to now the 30s, and we're going to be a little bit cooler as we go into Sunday. So those winds will pick up in speed again. In terms of accumulating snow, we're not looking at a whole lot over the weekend. Flurries with minor accumulations both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, our next incoming high pressure system really pushes out our latest low pressure. And in doing that, it'll clear up some of the sky, cover all that cloud, and also bring in those breezier conditions, at least temporarily on Sunday. By Monday, when the center of high pressure is overhead, that's when those winds will start to die on down. So we just have to get through Sunday. Monday, again, we'll keep it the variable cloudiness, periods of partly sunny conditions, mostly cloudy conditions, and sunny conditions, and temperatures will be about where we should be for this time of year. We're back into those upper 30s to low 40s as we go from Tuesday onward. Two quick moving low pressure systems look to move through the Midwest, bringing us more of a rain snow mix since temperatures will be above freezing. But in terms of heavy accumulation, or at least a threat for it, like what we just saw, I don't see either of that with those two systems Tuesday through Thursday of next week. Overall, our forecast high temperatures compared to where we should be for this time of year, which is those low 30s, we're staying what I would say or consider seasonable. A few degrees both warmer than or cooler than average in the days leading up to March, which is there that following Monday. So we're looking at the end of February, and I mention that because we don't have a whole lot of time to get our average temperature of 28.7 degrees closer to where we should be for this month, which right now it's ranging just over 7 degrees compared to normal, because we've been warmer than average from the 8th through the 19th, especially this week with those 60s and 50s. It really bumped up our average temperature, and it doesn't look to be cooling down anytime soon. I would say that we'll likely stay seasonal to just slightly above average as we head into March. There's a look at the 7 and 10 day forecast. Eyeing that mixed chance Tuesday and Wednesday of next week before quieting down to say goodbye to February and welcome in March.
Hello, March. Thank you, Blaze. Bleeding green and gold is par for the course in Wisconsin, but now one cheesehead stands above all the rest. Meet the newest member of the Packers Fan Hall of Fame. The Green Bay Packers immortalized Pat Suplicki as the 28th member of the Packer Fan Hall of Fame. He's known for the Packers' man cave in his basement, a project he paused when his father died in 2003, but he later completed it in his honor.
Congratulations, wow. That is so cool. Well, there's more to come at 4. We have the top stories of the day in our afternoon sprint. We'll be right back. It is 4:52 and time for the afternoon sprint.
We have breaking news at 4. The 16-year-old injured in a shooting yesterday has died. Police say the shooting involved 2 teens, 19 and 16. The 19-year-old died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police say both people knew each other, and this investigation is now a homicide-suicide situation.
President Donald Trump says that he will pursue a new path to keep global tariffs in place after a major loss at the Supreme Court of the U.S. In a 6-3 decision, the court ruled that the president lacked the authority to impose sweeping tariffs. Despite the setback, President Trump, announced plans to sign a new order creating a 10% global tariff under a different statute.
The Warner Dog Park is still closed after a dog suddenly died following a trip to the park last weekend. The dog that died is pending an autopsy from the Wisconsin Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory. Park staff says tests have found no known risks to humans or animals at the park.
And an update from Madison Police. We told you yesterday about a woman missing from a Madison group home. The good news is police say they found Catherine McIntosh and she has been returned home.
And looking at our forecast as we head into the almost nearly end of February, we're looking at the 30s tonight underneath mostly cloudy conditions, at least for a few more hours. And then we'll head into the 20s. In terms of snow and breezy conditions, both will taper off as we head further overnight. A few flurries can't be ruled out, but we will likely stay in those low to mid 20s to end the work week going into what looks to be a cooler but generally quiet weekend. Alex is back at 5 with the latest weekend forecast.
Thanks, Blaze. We have a look at what we're working on for News 3 Now at 5 right after the break. Stay with us. We are bringing you the latest information about a shooting on the north side of Madison. And the Overture Center is welcoming back Tanya Miller as guest conductor for a performance of Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony. We're talking with her ahead of that performance. Thank you for watching us on Live at 4 today. We love spending this time with you, and we'll see you right back here on Monday. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.